it gives me great pleasure at this time to invite you to listen to the words of a young man who knows where he is going, the course of action he must take to get where he is going, and the approximate time of his arrival. Please welcome Mr. Amit Askar.
Good evening, parents, teachers, honored guests, Mr. Bader, and fellow graduates. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this memorable and auspicious evening of honor often called commencement. Tonight we're placed in the spotlight. We are the graduating class of '94. We've been given the title of graduates. Someone once said, our hard work, dedication, determination, and strong will over the last few years has given us this notable title. It is one we should all be proud of. It is a symbol of our strength, and it signifies the fulfillment of one of our goals. I'm very honored to be given the opportunity this evening to speak on behalf of the graduating class and share with you our thoughts, feelings, and memories of the year spent at Vaughan. Someone once said that there's no such thing as a self-made man. Looking at this year's graduating class, I think he probably would have had to add that there's no such thing as a self-made woman either. Really. We're made up of thousands of others. Anyone who has either done a kind deed for us or encouraged us in some way or another has contributed to the makeup of our characters, our thoughts, and also our success. With those words in mind, it is evident how our time here has molded our own characters and given us our true and unique individuality and a true identity. When we entered grade 9, we were naive and fragile individuals who felt inferior and probably were to everyone and everything. Being alone in the camp was a living nightmare, and it was impossible to go to all the right classes in succession. The teachers were trying their parts to make us the ideal students, but we often resisted. Months passed and we soon became well accustomed to our new surrounding. The hallways soon turned from an endless maze to familiar pathways. The towering individuals no longer seemed intimidating. Soon, long-lasting friendships were made and a sense of community was established. As time marched along, the friendships flourished, the bonding continued, and memories came into being. And tonight, we're recalling these memories and remembering them with a smile. Aldous Huxley once stated, every man's memory is his own private literature. However, there are many common chapters that Vaughan has written for us all. How could anyone forget them? Mr. Betka and his farm stories always gave us new insights about pigs and cows. Everyone was so thrilled during Spirit Week, eh? Yeah, right. How about the week-long vacation due to the asbestos leak? Too bad it only occurred once. The dances, the recesses due to fire alarms, and so much more. Everyone contributed to life at Vaughan in their own way. Some were involved in athletics, some in academics, and some were just spectators. Vaughan helped shape our character, and in turn rebuilt its reputation as a place for academic, artistic, and athletic excellence. Our true form was formed for the most part in the classrooms. Here our minds were liberated and our eyes opened to knowledge. It was the teachers who were responsible for guiding us in that direction, whether it was the insights of Mr. Klonsky, Mr. Collins' enthusiasm, Mr. Paul's witty humor. They all influenced our characters and inspired us to reach the pinnacle of success. They overwhelmed us with homework, the boring essays, the heartbreaking exams, the even more unpopular ISUs. But we came to realize that by asking us to do the impossible, they were forcing us to achieve the impossible. And we did. They taught us about failure and success, frustration and glory, and tonight we thank you for your endless devotion and patience. There's a special group of people that we usually take for granted. It is our parents, and they too help shape our characters. The best description of our parents' unique and complex role was summarized by Stephen Leacock when he said, the parent who could see his boy as he really is would shake his head and say, Willie is no good, I'll sell him. The truth is, I think most parents already know how mischievous and rough we male and females alike are. As kids, we made messes in our diapers and broke everything we could reach. As young adults, we bring home disappointing report cards and monopolize bathrooms, telephones, television, and just about everything else but the kitchen sink because we leave the dishes for someone else to do. To our parents' credit, they have not, at least thus far, sold us, despite our obvious liability. It is they who guided us here tonight. Our love for you is never ending. Thank you. I should not forget to acknowledge our friends. They contributed as much as anyone else in shaping our characters. They gave us our fashion trends, added the humor and interest in our otherwise mundane and boring life. We grew up with them, we cried and laughed with them, and it is on their shoulder that we leaned on during turbulent times. Let us not lose touch wherever our life may take us. Time has come to bid farewell to Vaughan, but that does not mean that our education stops here. It is a shame that some of us are settling the notion that it might. That somehow education is something that took place in a fixed period in our lives. That in some way we must classify people's intelligence to the number of years that they spent in high school. This, I say with conviction, must be relinquished from one's train of thought. Rather, we should all regard education as a never-ending pursuit. As I stand here, I keep thinking of us like cocoons, and about the butterflies which see for the first time the world around them. They're confident, learned, and free. How can we not agree that we're like these butterflies, ready to challenge anything the vast sky of life offers us? I would like to end with a quote from none other than the great George Bernard Shaw. He said, "Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of a splendid torch, which I have got hold for a moment, and I wish to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to the future generation." My fellow graduates, each of us here tonight bears a torch. Let us all hope that each of us will keep that torch ablaze and allow it to burn brightly, hoping that the rest of us will feel its warmth. Thank you.
Honored guests, members of the teaching staff, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the graduating class. Emmett, tonight in your valedictorian address, you touched on all the components that make one successful, not only in education, but in all walks of life.